Okay, welcome again. This is lesson number 4. We'll be covering the 5 hindrances and Satipatthana. So this is when I look at the material and try to collect the material for this lesson 4, this is not as heavy as we have gone through in lesson 2 and 3, because lesson 2 and 3 deals with the meditation practices itself. So, the content and information given are a little bit heavy. So when it comes to lesson number 4 and then our last class, the subject matter a bit easier because everything I'm going to say also comes from lesson number 2 and 3. Yeah? Like, for example, the 5 hindrances. We have explored a little bit about 5 hindrances, and we also have seen a little bit about Satipatthana. Now we got to marry these two together to form this discussion for lesson number 4. This time I want to start off with a question so that you can see from the question. The first part is basically listing out what are the 5 hindrances. I think the first part is going to be very straightforward. Once you know the 5 hindrances, you can list out the 5 hindrances. I think that itself answer the first part of the question. The second part of the question is a little bit is a combination of understanding the hindrances. It's present in our mind, and how can we use the 4 foundation of mindfulness, which is actually Satipatthana, to eradicate or to overcome these hindrances that have arisen in our mind. So knowing this is the type of question that will appear in the exam paper, so I thought maybe the format of the lesson today will be done in the same arrangement. 5 hindrances.
Yeah. When they ask what are the 5 hindrances, do we just name A, B, C, D, E?
Yeah.
That means good enough lah.
Yeah, good enough. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are 5 hindrances? You can name it. If you want to write a little bit about your understanding of each of that, you can just put 1 or 2 liner lah. Like, for example, sensual desire. What do you understand by the word? And then if you know what is ill will, you just write 1 sentence about it. Which is also in the notes. You can just take 1 liner and then just say what are these, naming it, and just write a line on what you understand by each of these hindrances that is listed down there. And then the heavier part is actually how to use the 4 foundation of mindfulness to eradicate these hindrances. The exam paper uses the word eradicating, but I think in our practice as a process, it's actually slowly eroding these 5 hindrances. It's not like in the one sitting itself, we can eradicate the 5 hindrances, but having the right antidote, we can then use it to weaken the hindrances that has arisen, depending on the state of our mind, whether we are mindful enough, whether we've developed sufficient mindfulness, and that gives us sufficient composure of the mind to completely eradicate. But usually for the first attempt, you will be weakening the 5 hindrances. You'll be still traces there, but it'll take a few more practice, before really we can come to a point where we can claim that a 5 hindrance has been removed. Okay. So I just want to bring, before we do that, I just want to bring, because I just came across one of this sutta, which I thought was very useful. And it's also in many of the Buddhist mind. What is the minimum jhana that we talk about, the 4 jhana, for us to attain arahantship? So from searching around, I pick up this good sutta, which you can also read this. If you've got time, you read this, because in this sutta, a dialogue between Venerable Ananda and a lay person. Yeah, and the lay person asks, are there ways to attain arahantship? And in this discussion, Venerable Ananda provided 11 ways to attain arahantship. So I just took one of it, which is the first jhana. The Sutta, if you read the whole sutta, it goes on to describe the second jhana is also another way, third jhana another way, fourth jhana another way. So you can see as 4 of these jhana are possible doors to arahantship. So I just want to touch on first jhana because this is the entry to this is the entry of gaining a composed level. So I thought first jhana would be just enough for us for our discussion here. But if you want to know more about this, just go ahead and read the full sutta. It describes even the 4 Brahma Viharas. Each of the Brahma Vihara are also doors to arahantship. So it's quite eye-opening when you read that, because sometimes when we heard from other people, some will say, if you practice the Brahma Vihara, you cannot attain this and attain that. But this sutta clearly dispelled that the confusion, that even practicing the 4 Brahma Viharas, each one of them are also doors to arahantship. So I just want to touch on the first jhana here. You can see from what we have gone through lesson 2 and 3, the word they've used here in English, you can see there's a kind of mix a little bit between the old school and what the Sutta Jhana is all about. I think from here you can already pick up some of this. If you read other translation, they will still use the word first absorption there, but this translation uses the word first jhana. So in some sense, it's a little bit closer to what we have discussed. Okay, you can see from the sentence here, the householder, he's talking to a householder, he's not talking to a monk, So because this question is a householder asking Venerable Ananda, so the response was to the householder. So you can see it's a householder. If we are secluded from sensual pleasure, secluded from unwholesome state, the bhikkhu enters, we prefer to use engage, and dwell in the first jhana, and then consists of rapture, piti sukha here, piti sukha. So we have used the word joy and happiness, born of seclusion. I underline this word born of seclusion because for those who are reading the definition of the second jhana, you can see the second jhana, the translation will change into born of concentration. Most of the translations were born of concentration. So the first jhana says born of seclusion. The second jhana says born of concentration, means in our understanding is born of composure. So if you look at these two usage here, born of seclusion means he has dropped the 5 hindrances. So first jhana means he has overcome the 5 hindrances. So here refers to he has overcome the 5 hindrances. Therefore, he is now engaging in the first jhana, which comes with the following jhana factors. Okay, so once he has done that, and he uses this data, this particular first jhana, and he do an investigation at that time, So if he can, at that first jhana, he can destroy the taints. You see, he can destroy a taint. If he really can destroy the taints, the 10 factors we talk about, using the first jhana, that itself is a completion of his duty. So he becomes an arahant. In the event that he is caught in lasa, means his desire of enjoying the Dharma and delighting the Dharma, but in the process, if he can destroy the 5 lower factors. Here, talk about only the 5 lower factors. But if that individual can destroy the 3 lower factors, he will immediately attain the Sotapanna level. But here talks about only 5 lower factors. Yeah, so the Buddha says that if he can do that, 5 lower factors, immediately he will be on the destruction of his life, or passing away. Spontaneously, he will be born into a state where he will have only one life to return. Yeah. So this basically says that if the person in first jhana can destroy the 10 factors, he attain arahantship. In the event that he couldn't do it due to his the practice of holding on to the joy that he's experiencing, but if he can destroy the 5 lower factors, immediately he is he has attained the 3rd sainthood, the 3rd stage of arahantship, aryaship, which is anagami. Okay, so this particular sutta, I thought it was pretty useful. So it should dispel our doubt that do I need jhana to attain arahantship? Answers yes. at least the first jhana. Do I need 4 jhana? The answer is yes, you can use 4 jhana. You can use 2 jhana, second jhana, third jhana, or fourth jhana. First jhana is the minimum stated given by Venerable Ananda. Okay, so now we are going straight down to the 5 hindrances. So Pali word pancha is 5. Hindrances is Nivarana and Pali. And then these are the 5 hindrances listed in this sutta. Yeah? Avarana Nivarana Sutta. Yeah? So you have sensual desire, ill will, sloth, torpor. We all know this 5 already, yeah? From our discussion at the senior class level. These are already. When I keep looking at this word, what dawned into me is that these 5 hindrances are constantly in us. So it comes with a package. The moment we have this phantom long body, the body that we carry, the mind that we have together, this body already has these 5 hindrances embedded in it. It is a matter of time, condition for it to arise. And at the same time, if you look at the first jhana factors, it's also in us. So we have these 2 competing forces all in us. We have one part of it, which is hindrances in us. And we also have the first jhana factors also in us. It's a matter of development, isn't it? I look at it as a matter of development. If we can develop the right types of factors, then that's it. We are already on the go. We are already on the path. The trouble is that our normal mind doesn't work that way. So our normal mind always prevent from us to attaining the other half, the first jhana factor. It's in us, but it's just not showing up. The normal mind constantly want to prevent us from entering the other segment, the inner silence. So the untrained mind always resists itself being controlled. That's why we have this monkey mind. We describe as monkey mind because the normal mind is like that. He resists being itself to be controlled, and therefore it keep forcing us to walk away from the practice of cultivating the other side of the mind, the mind that is cultivated. A cultivated mind should develop the first jhana factors, because that is the one that will lead us correctly on the path to the end of suffering. But the normal mind, continue to prevent us from doing that. So if we are not attentive, like in our earlier discussion, we just talk about recognizing the monkey mind itself is already a success, because knowing that we have a monkey mind and we want to do something to this monkey mind to tame it using the method given by the Buddha, it's already a step forward. The worst is that we do not know that we have a monkey mind, and we leave this monkey mind growing in strength day by day. Yeah, so it becomes pretty important that we need to know the 5 hindrances. Okay, so once we know it, that one of these hindrances have risen, and then we can find the right antidote to overcome the hindrance. There are 5 there, which is already grouped by the Buddha. So we just need to recognize the 5, and then we will then use the technique that is given by the Buddha to overcome it. So hindrances are generally, they are just the function of the intermediate level of the 3 roots, the unskillful roots. We all talk about greed, hatred, delusion, which is planted inside us, so rooted inside us. It just shows its ugly head through these 5 hindrances. So we need to recognize these 5 hindrances and then knock them down, as they come along. So sensual desire is a form of greed, wanting more. Ill will is actually a form of hatred because it's aversion. I don't like this, so you try to push it away. And then the remaining 3 hindrances are all grouped together under delusion, not knowing them. Therefore, it's a hindrance that arises because not knowing, uncertain, unsettling, those are the pieces that come out of it. So we know that these 5 hindrances, if they work together or work as an individual piece, it can really block our samadhi to attain the first jhana itself. And then because we do not have this clarity in our mind, our judgment towards things is always glossed with the defilements. So we don't see things as they truly are, or gloss up. Okay. And then I just want to bring this up again, the Ahara Sutta. Here, the Buddha talks about 2 types of attention. One is callous attention, one is careful attention. If unwholesome thing arises and we put callous attention to it, when we say callous attention, means you feel it with your desire, your sense desire, or your lust, or wanting, or whatever you call it. When you put in that kind of attention, that particular unwholesome state that have arisen in our mind is going to grow. Okay, so if we pay careful attention means we are applying the antidotes, knowing that, okay, sexual desires have arisen. This is not pleasant. This is not good for myself. I now should develop the opposite, an antidote. So something wholesome to replace the unwholesome state in the mind. By doing that, surely the 5 hindrances can be overcome over a period of training. So one part is we are giving nutriment. The other part is we are giving that the nutriment. We take away the nutriment so that the defilements doesn't grow in strength over time. Okay, so a few keywords here: careful mindfulness. I think the development of mindfulness is essential for us to move on to the 8th factor of Samma Samadhi. The 7th factor must be given a lot of attention and a lot of practice. Be aware of whatever that is happening. Or in other words, they try to say, be at the moment, when you can put your mind at the present moment. That means you are mindful. That is, you are aware what is happening. And for you to put that mindfulness at the moment, it can only work if you give that mind some energy. So right effort is definitely required. That's the Samma Vayamo, which I explained. It's like the beam of a house, it's like a beam that supports everything. So right effort should be applied across. While we are maintaining mindfulness, we need to put effort into it. Once you can do that, then we can use the right effort and the right mindfulness to replace unwholesome thoughts. Okay? And then here, the Anga Sutta also talk about, there's a need for us to arouse energy, which you can relate this back to the earlier chapter on the 5 faculties. Yeah, the 5 faculties, we're going to develop the 5 faculties. So in fact, arousing energy is actually one of the faculties. So we need to arouse our energy. We cannot be lazy and always say, I'll do it tomorrow, So when you say arousing energy, you must have this firm, firmness in assertion, how to do it, how to do it. So only that spirit allow us to get on, put ourselves onto the path. If not, every time you want to do something, the defilements, as I said, our normal mind will always prevent us. It doesn't like us to go towards the other side of the mind. It always want to bring you back to, the unwholesome level. So the defilement is always there, pulling us back, to do what it likes to do. So, energy is definitely required for us to move on the other side. I just like us swimming on a river downstream. It's always easy to go downstream, but it's always difficult to go upstream because, you really need to use a lot of energy to swim upstream. Downstream is the defilements. Upstream is the Bodhi nature of us. So if we want to get enlightened, we have to stream upstream. The Bodhi nature has to be aroused in all of us. Okay? So this sutta quickly talks about the simile given by the Buddha. You can read this sutta in full. The Buddha basically gave a very simple simile. Sensual pleasure is like a dab. Ill will is like a sick person. Slot topper, like you're in a prison. Restless, you are like a slavery. You know, your boss keep asking you to work. It becomes very tired, not sure what you're doing. And then doubt is like you are in a desert without bearing. You know, you're just walking left, right, without knowing, you know, which place you are going to. So the Buddha uses similar to describe the 5 hindrances and says that if we can abandon these 5 hindrances, you are going to be that free man, you know. He described the joy of someone who can abandon the 5 hindrances. Your debt is paid, you're freed. Instead of ill, you have good health. And then instead of you're stuck in a prison, you're a free man. Then if you are slavery, you got freedom. And then, you know, if you get out of desert, you know, it's like you reach a place. So you can describe, the Buddha is giving a description to the monks, you know, the 5 hindrances, you look at it as, you know, something unpleasant, you know, don't stick there and move on to abandoning the hindrances so that you can be a free person, using that simile. And then there's another simile given by the Buddha using a bowl of water. This one we already discussed also in our senior class. Yeah? So I just want to go through very quickly. Sensual desire is like a bowl with dye, colored dye. You cannot see clearly. And then ill will is like boiling water. Bubbles keep coming up. You know, you cannot see things clearly. Slot topper is sluggish, so there are a lot of algae growing in it, you know, all green, slimy, sticky, you just can't see what is down there. And then restless is like, you know, strong wind blowing, ripples are forming on top of the water, you can't see what is down there. And then doubt is like a muddy water, you know, you got a mud and then water all mixed up, you know, doubt is just like that. So Buddha described using this description to tell us that hindrances is really, really unpleasant. You know, it prevents us from seeing the true nature of things. So it has to be abandoned. And then I pick up another sutta, which is quite useful. Here, the Buddha talks about a pure gold. If you are a blacksmith who's trying to, you know, get pure gold. So there is always an attempt for this person who's working on that material. He has to remove away the defilements of the gold, you know, which is like iron, copper. You have to remove that so that you can have pure gold, which is malleable, because he can then use this soft, pure gold the way he wants. All right? When this pure gold is defiled with some other ingredients like iron, copper, it becomes hard, brittle, you know. So the person want to work on making something, he has trouble because the gold itself is not soft, not malleable. He can't bend it the way he wants, you know. So, and also not luminous, like the gold doesn't give you the kind of brightness that is needed. So using that simile, and the Buddha then tell the monks, you know, there is a need for them to abandon the 5 defilements. So in this case, the 5 hindrances, you can do that, then the mind is malleable, it becomes soft. The mind becomes very soft, is workable, and is bright. And then you can direct the mind, which is bright, and you know, without these impurities. Yeah. So you can then become a rightly composed, which have the right samadhi, and then with the right samadhi, you can use it to destroy the cankas. Cankas here means the fetters, the defilements, and then he can then direct the mind to do whatever he likes. If you've got time, also read this Upakilesa Sutta. The Buddha go and talk about one having abandoned the 5 hindrances and having the right mind composure. He can then develop the mind to achieve a lot of psychic powers, which I'm not pretty interested in the psychic power, but you know, the sutta has many paragraphs describing that one who has attained this state, a mind which is workable and bright, he can then direct the mind to do a lot of things. Like, you know, he can see, he has developed the Deva eyes, the Deva ears and all that, and read minds and all that. So this has a lot of things that we can do. But definitely the ultimate goal of one who has got a clear mind is to immediately destroy the cankers, the fetters, so that when the fetters are destroyed, liberation is definitely waiting for one who can do that, rather than but the side product is that, you can also use that mind to do a lot of other things. Okay. And then I would just want to quickly go through with you this one, because you can read this on your own. This is a very interesting collection of each one of these hindrances mentioned in this Anguttara Nikaya 1 from 11 to 20. Each one of them talking about one thing. You can say he sees that, is it here? Here shows that sensual desire. How does it grow? It grows because we are paying inappropriate attention. The wise attention thing is given to it. So once you have given it unwise attention, when a sensual desire arises, it's going to grow. It's going to grow and multiply. So the second one talks about you've got an ill will same way. If you pay attend inappropriately, again, unwise attention given to it is definitely going to grow. So just like when anger arises, you fuel it with more of the thinking of this anger. There's unwise attention, and then definitely the anger is going to grow and grow and grow, and then cause unnecessary suffering to oneself. And then you go down to the next one, drowsiness. So drowsiness, we all know. Here the Buddha says that after a meal, usually after a meal, when your mouth is when you have a full stomach, tendencies that drowsiness comes in, because science says that when you are full, the blood flows down to your stomach. To give you a reason, it goes to the stomach to do the processing. Therefore, there's less blood in our mind, in our brain. Therefore, it becomes drowsy. So the mind becomes sluggish in the whole process. Okay, when you have a sluggish mind, then it becomes drowsiness. And then restless mind, allowing a thought to proliferate, run. That says, the Buddha says that because one does not have a mind that is calm, and calm mind causes a restless and worried mind. I think we all know sometime, when we are struck by this restless and worry, you take a moment and just look at the state of your mind. The mind just go on proliferating, keep on engaging one after another. It picks up one and it picks up another one. It picks up another one. It keep on going. If you just let it go on, you just go on and on and on. It can just pick up different things and let the mind just process the different thing and just doesn't stop. And we know that mind is restless simply because the mind is not still, not calm. So one of the practices that we can then put in some practice on mindfulness. Anapanasati is pretty helpful here. Definitely anapanasati is definitely helpful in overcoming a restless mind. Then you have the doubt. Again, this is inappropriate attention. Doubt arises when you pay attention to the doubt. You fuel it with more which are not verified. It becomes, the doubt keep increasing and multiplying. Okay. So the remedies is from 16 onwards. So you can see the Buddha has already come up with some remedies. So this will be the answer that you can use for the question that is raised. So the first one, sensual desire, the Buddha recommended, you can use loathsome object, ugly things. So you can use the two parts of the body, or you can use the asubha technique, a decaying body as a way to overcome the sensual desire. We'll look at some in a short while. So the Anguttara Nikaya 1.6 already starting off with all the answers. So sensual desire, we can use this method. And it says that when we have ill will, we can then replace the ill will mind with a loving kindness mind. So we can then think of pleasant things about the person instead of focusing on his negative and highlighting all the negative. You look at him from a different angle, that he has some good values, good positive values, and you loosen off that. Instead of keep running on the ill will, you replace it with some loving kindness thought of the individual, that he's a kind person, he has done a lot of good things, as a way to slow down, or replaces the evil thought with a loving kindness thought. And then drowsiness, the recommended given by the Buddha is that effort, no effort cannot work. Drowsy. So definitely one of the best recommendations here to put effort is to walk. Yeah, the body is dull, drowsy, the body is heavy and is going to sleep, laziness slowly coming up. The solution for that is to do walking, quick walking. Yeah, walk. Or you can also pay attention to the things that you do. You might want to do some physical work, sweeping the floor, washing plates, wash your car, whatever, to take away from the drowsiness of the mind with some effort, resolve effort. You must do that to overcome it. And restlessness, this is already described as the mind is just not settling, keep the puncher keep running, you keep running and running and running. So one way is to calm it down, to calm the mind. The definite remedy for this is to use anapanasati, where the mind settled by paying attention to the in and out breath. And then finally, doubt. Instead of paying inappropriate attention, like viewing it with more facts which is not verified. So it's good that apply appropriate attention by reflecting on Dharma. Yeah, or read a sutta, for example, to overcome the doubt that one has. So Dhamma Vichaya is definitely one of the approach, reading a book or reflecting on the Dharma knowledge that you have to overcome the doubt that has arisen. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Satipatthana side a little bit. So this is definitely a way to eradicate or weaken the 5 hindrances. And we know the Satipatthana focuses on 3 areas. So first is the awareness, or be present at the very moment. Be present simply means you are aware of what you are doing right now. Okay. At the same time, also, because of the awareness, the mind can pick up unskillful qualities that's arisen in the mind, and then you can then use that awareness to replace it with skillful qualities. So you can abandon it, allowing us to still the mind, allowing the mind to gain samadhi, developing samadhi. So this is the usefulness of having Satipatthana. Okay, so in a nutshell, Satipatthana has 4 areas, which is always in us because we carry all this with us. The body is in us, the mind is in us, the feeling also is in us, and the thinking, the thought also in us. So all this Satipatthana element is not outside. It's all in us. So there is no need to look for it outside the body. The body and mind has it. So the first aspect of Satipatthana is to look at the body, use the body as a point of anchoring. Yeah, bring the mind to the present moment. Simply means to anchor the mind on the body, on a number of body areas. So the first one is Anapanasati, which I have discussed already in detail. In breath, out breath. Object is in breath, out breath. The focus is sati. Yeah, not the other way around, which we are taught to pay attention on the breath as a single point. Is not what is described in the sutta itself. Sutta says the object is in-out breath. The key emphasis of this practice is the sati, is aware. Awareness is what we are developing based on the in-out breath object. And then the second one is body posture. It's also another way to anchor the mind. If you're not using the in-out breath, which is actually part of us, you can also pay attention to how we are disposing this body right now. Seated, you are seated, and the body is touching the chair. So you use the touching as a way to anchor the mind at the present. Yeah, anchor the mind at the present. The exercise is going to be difficult, but if we keep remembering ourselves, every moment we remember it, we anchor it, I think gradually, from 5%, we might increase to 10%, 50%, 20%. until we become Arahant, we can then anchor our mind on the present moment 24/7. Now we are not there, but if we keep practicing, remembering that we need to do this, we should be able to gradually bring the mind to the present moment. So I'm seated, I know I'm seated, my body is touching the floor, my leg is on the floor, I can feel the touch point, my buttocks on the chair, I can feel the touch point, my hand on something, I can feel the touch point. Yeah. So all these are useful ways to bring the mind to the present moment. If you're walking, though you're aware that you are walking, your left leg, your right leg, so you pay attention to your left, right leg motion. Even if you are lying down, your body is on the bed, you're lying down, you can feel the body there. So you can see body posture is one of the ways that the Buddha encourages to keep our mind at the present moment. Okay, and then you can also read the Kaya Gata Sati Sutta, which has a very clear explanation on this body thing. Kaya means the body. So this sutta describes all these elements, the one I listed down here, all in Kaya Gata Sati Sutta. Yeah, so you can read that in detail. Walking is one of them. So you're sitting, walking, what else? Sitting, walking, lying down, and what else? The other one, the fourth one. What are the 4 body postures? Anybody know?
Standing.
Yes, good. Who's that? Who said that standing? Yeah, it did come to my mind. I saw standing, very good. So these are the 4 postures I'm about to talk about, which can be used to focus the mind. The whole idea is that focus the mind at the present moment. Present moment means you know what this body posture is like. The next is activity awareness, simply means you are not doing any of the 4, but you are busy doing your day-to-day chores like cooking, washing the car, sweeping the floor. So you know the activity that you're engaged in. So the activity awareness is very wide and broad, depending on what you are doing. Like it could be over reading a book. Yeah, you can also be reading a book. You're paying attention to reading itself. It's also activity of the awareness where the mind is paying attention at that moment on what you are doing. Yeah, 32 part of our body. This is a great exercise for us to anchor our mind also. We can only see some external parts of the 32 parts. Usually the channels start with body hair, head hair, body hair, and then your skin, your nail, and your teeth. These are the one that is external, which wraps a lot of other body parts which you can't see. So for those who are practicing 32 body parts, whether you chant it by reflecting on the object, or you can just do the standard 5 that we are familiar with as a way to know that this body that we say is I, mine, myself. It constitutes of many parts that come together. And definitely is a very good exercise also to say that at the end of the day, this body comes together and it stays together because of the right condition. When the condition is not right or not present, this thing will disintegrate. So simply means to say there is really no self in this body. That is the reflection that we should do when we do 32 parts. All the 4 elements. Yeah, the 4 elements are the 4 great elements. The heat, the body has the heat element, earth element, the wind element, and the water element. So you can use that also as another way to reflect that this body consists of these 4 elements. And Asubha is focusing on the decomposing body. It goes through different stages, week 1, week 2, week 3. And you see this body is, bolted up, with liquid coming out, smelly, like that. So this is to raise the unpleasantness of the body if the attachment to body is pretty strong. Then Asubha is a method, encouraged by the Buddha, to look at this body being filthy, full of rubbish and full of, it is unclean, it's not clean at all. What we think is very beautiful, but actually it's very horrible looking when it goes through the process of decomposition. Okay. All right. And then Vedana is the noticing of the feeling, pleasant, unpleasant feeling. And then Chittanupassati is to be aware of the state of the mind. In fact, this Chittanupassati need not be something that is kind of difficult, even in your normal day-to-day, when you carry on your day-to-day life, you can also use this technique to just look at your mind. What kind of mind am I having right now? When you have an angry mind, you take note that this is an angry mind. When you have a greedy mind, this is a greedy mind. You got a hateful mind, this is a hateful mind. You got a scattered mind, you can actually use that also as a way to anchor the mind to the present moment, because you are aware of the state of your mind right there and there. Okay. And then at other times you might want to use Dhammanupassati, Anapanupasana, as a way, reflecting on the teaching of the Buddha, the 5 hindrances. You can use that as a way to engage the mind at the present moment by reflecting on the Dhamma that you have heard. Recollect it back. Yeah. And most of the time when you do a recollection of some of the things that you heard, you cannot remember, it's good that you quickly, look up a book so that you fill in the blanks. Most of us, we do not do that, When you try to recall what we heard in the morning Dhamma sharing, we've forgotten 60% of it. We only remember 40, 60% is forgotten. But, but we don't go and immediately fill the 60% with the fact that was presented on the day or in the morning itself. So we are not doing sati, isn't it? Sati is to remember. So because we cannot remember, we could fill in the blanks. So how do you fill in the blank? You fill in the blank by asking someone who have heard it, they might give you 20%, or you might read the balance from the book, or if you know a sutta that the Bhante is relying on, read the sutta and then, try to fill in all the blanks that was discussed in the morning so that you have all this information built in again into us. Okay, so I'm going to go through that. Before I go through that, let me just do a quick stop and see how is everyone. So it's more of a rerun of the senior class. Just give a quick rerun on the 5 hindrances. And we know the importance of abandoning the 5 hindrances now, right, isn't it? Because that is the kind of minimum for us to engage in jhana. So it becomes an essential element in the practice of meditation. Even though if it's not meditation, the 5 hindrances do affect us in our day-to-day work as well, isn't it? Like you're busy doing a reading, and suddenly the thoughts come up and say, I want to eat ice cream. So you run down and eat ice cream. Or I want to drink a cup of coffee, I run down and make a cup of coffee. So hindrances do hinder what you are doing at the present moment. Yeah, it comes in. Or maybe you're watching a TV and then somebody starts calling your name and the show is so good, hatred, ill will arises, hate arises. Keep calling me, what for? So hate arises. So you can imagine, even not in meditation, day-to-day engagement, we have these 5 hindrances coming up, playing with it, and distract us from what we are doing. Okay, if there is no, we can we proceed on with the next, looking at some of the remedies, and then the remedies which I've given in the slide are collected from other sources, but based on exam question, you need to have a remedy from the Satipatthana, 4 foundation. You see, any one of that can fit the area. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so sensual desire. Okay, we know that this is all these all this sensual desire comes from the five senses. We can't avoid it. The five senses are working. The eye can see, the ear can hear. And we also know from our, I think our second or third discussion that when we talk about factors, we know that it's not the wrong of the five senses to see. The factors is actually the sensual desire that arises in our mind. The factors is actually the sensual desire, not so much of the five senses having contact with the world. Okay, so then the Buddha talk about some of the antidotes. So we need to be aware first. Once you know what is it, and then we can apply the technique. Okay, so here he talks about sensual desire. It got to do with lustful thoughts or whatever. Then we can use this technique, reflection of drawbacks. Okay, things are impermanent, not drawbacks. And then things are not lasting. This is taken from this sutta. And this sutta, MN20, has many remedies inside. I've just taken this one as the antidote for sensual desires. But it's good for you to read the full sutta so that you can see the whole range of antidote that the Buddha has given for other problems. Okay, and then you got meditation on impure objects. Again, you can take this from Kaya Gata Sati. So this is one way. And then guarding sense door. Okay, also taken from the same sutta, MN20. As I said, it has many, many remedies there. And then there's another sutta that talks about not paying attention. Try not to pay attention to the object. So that is also part of guarding the senses. Okay, and then just try not to don't pay attention. Simply means don't pay attention to the things or smell and all that. Once the mind engage in it and give it the nutriment to think more, that's where the sensual desire multiplies and grow. This one is to refer to those who has food, looking at food, want to eat a lot of food, chap bao liao, want to eat like that. So how to overcome the sensual desire for eating, you can read these two beautiful suttas. Okay, here again, if you read the full sutta, the sutta has a lot of useful practices that we can deploy. But this one just referring to moderation in eating. And in fact, while we eat, we have to take wise consideration. And usually this is what a Buddhist practitioner will always do before they take the food, by reflecting on food, that this food I take, properly considering it, not playfully, not for beautify, not for fattening, but only for the nourishment of this body, keeping this body healthy, and then make an aspiration that with this healthy body, I will cultivate wholesome practices to attain nibbana. And that's how an aspiration is made when food is to be taken. It's a very simple way of doing that. And then the ill will. So this is a thought, so very difficult to overcome, because usually when ill will arises, it always appears justifiable to do it, because it has been overcome by by the defilement. So the defilement has taken over the mind, and the defilement think that whatever you're doing is justifiable. So an eye for an eye is always justifiable. At that moment itself, the defilement takes over. And then the defilement gave us the reason that this is justified to do. And that's how we end up, getting on to the wrong, building up the wrong unwholesome thoughts and actions. And the antidote is loving kindness, which you also mentioned earlier. Okay, so this is quite straightforward. Antidote, sloth torpor. From the earlier slide, we have seen this got to do with lack of energy. And then This one is actually a full sutta given to Venerable Mongalana when he was having drowsiness, trying to spend many long nights trying to practice and attain arahantship, but drowsiness seems to caught him. And the Buddha used his psychic power, appeared in front of him and gave him a set of instructions. So these are the instruction given to overcome sleepiness. So you can see the Buddha is quite complete in terms of the antidotes. Yeah, so the Buddha says, do one of this gradually and see whether you can overcome sleepiness. If you can't only, then go and lie down. And even after lying down, you must quickly rise when it's all done. Don't sleep and sleep too long. So you can see this is definitely a good way to overcome drowsiness. I think there was another reading I read, they also talk about a rousing urgency is to do marana sati, contemplate on death that is going to happen right now. So that is another way. When I was reading that, I said, yeah, this could be another way to break away from drowsiness. Drowsiness simply means lazy. So you shake up the mind by thinking of death, that you're going to die, in any minute if you don't do anything about it, or do some practice and improve ourselves. We're going to be born in hell, things like that. So that is going to be another way to, lift up the mind from being drowsy. Agitated mind, we know this is a monkey mind. And definitely the best way is to calm the mind, and anapanasati is definitely recommended. And then skeptical mind, thinking too much, not working too well. In fact, these are the kind of doubt that arises in each one of us. When we follow a particular teacher, and then the teacher gives us a set of instruction, and after instruction is given, or due to instruction not clear or what, when we start doing it, practicing it, and we don't seem to be gaining any progress, then we doubt arises: is it working for me, or is the teacher teaching me the right thing? So these are the doubt that will prevent us from progressing forward. So one of the recommendation is that clear instruction, get clear instruction from the teacher itself. So, okay, so I won't be going into Anapanasati. Visit this for your own reading. Let's come back to the class. Okay, today is very fast. So we have already covered the hindrances and the Satipatthana. Can we try to get some of you to answer that question? Kevin, sensual desire, Satipatthana, which will be the recommended, one of the recommended way? What would you write to respond to the exam question? Sensual desire, which of the Satipatthana would you recommend? Okay, Kevin will try to attempt that. Then maybe ill will, Mingxi. Saksheng will be, Saksheng, you can think of one Satipatthana way of overcoming sloth and torpor. Doris will handle restless. And then maybe Lei Hun, you try doubt or not? What will be recommended remedy for the hindrance? Because we are trying to say, okay, these are the 5 hindrances. You can write a little bit of 5 hindrances, and then the recommended remedy from the 4 foundation of mindfulness, sensual desire. Kevin, what do you think is your recommended from Satipatthana?
Give me some time to think about it.
Okay, so let's go with Mingxi. Ill will.
Okay. Ill will, we look at Satipatthana in feelings, Vedana.
Okay.
So you develop, because ill will is like is a feeling.
Yes.
So you, in order to overcome this ill will, you develop loving kindness. So during the Satipatthana, you can do your loving kindness meditation, or at the same time you watch the mind on the arising of ill will.
Okay, good. So first you have to recognize that the ill will has a reason. There's unpleasantness. And the ill will is unpleasant, and then you replace the unpleasant with the pleasant, which will be your loving kindness as the approach.
Or to think of the positive side of the person.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. So who is next? Kevin, you got ready? Quite straightforward. Sexual desire, there are plenty down there, So which sexual desire you want to overcome? You say food, then you do the reflection on food. If you talk about lustful feeling arising, then you can think of one of the approach there. There's a whole list there. Okay, now then let me tell you, I need some time to think about it. Siak Ching, what is your Satipatthana for which one already? Slot and topper. Is it Siak Ching? Is she there? No. She's not there. She has gone and do something. Okay, Doris. So Doris? Okay.
Yes.
You are tackling restlessness, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, what would you recommend from Satipatthana?
Wash your face.
Restless or not slot and topper, no.
Mine is
Slot and topper, you go wash your face.
Mine is
restlessness.
Restlessness.
You are doing restlessness, yes.
Oh, I thought mine is the slot and topper.
You do slot and topper, okay. Okay, slot and topper. What is your recommended?
You go for a walk, splash water in your face, take a break, cup of tea.
All right. So that is taken
Make
from the.
more alert.
You're taking from Kaya Nupassana. Yeah, Kaya Nupassana. So you can use the body posture, walking as one way to energize the body.
Yep.
Or you can use the activities, body activities as another way, which is washing your face, be mindfully washing your face and making a cup of coffee and drink coffee. Okay, good. Okay, then Siak Ching, are you there already? No, she's not there. The next one is Len Hun, is it? Len Hun? Are you there?
Yes. I'm just thinking about my. Sorry.
Doubt, is it? You're doing handling doubt. Doubt. How do you? Which one do you recommend?
I think for doubt, it's. Sorry, I think my camera is not on. For doubt is trying to gather facts and also try to consult learned teachers, get them to give clear instructions what we can do, and to have the right understanding. So it's to establish the right knowledge. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. So which of the 4 foundation you're applying?
The
Kaya, or the Vedana, or Chitta, or Dhamma?
I think it's Dhamma.
Okay. So correct. You use Dhamma Nupassana, one of the ways to do reflection on your Dhamma. Yeah, to have the right understanding. The doubt arises because of unclear instruction, or not clear, or not understand having the right knowledge. So Dhamma Nupassana will be approached.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are waiting for Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin, you okay?
I thought the first thing is for this sensual desire is to develop the right view, right understanding for those arisen subjects, and the right thoughts, and also mindful what are the impact of the subjects that affects you. That is sensual pleasure. Like you're invited for a drink, and do you want a drink? And then that will cause you heedlessness, or you resort to killing, whatever the 5 precepts. I thought right view is very important to develop right view, and then
okay.
right thought.
So right view from which which of the four foundation is that? Because you're going to use the Satipatthana approach to eradicate the hindrances. So if you don't specify Satipatthana, then jawapan tak tepat lah, because you use Satipatthana. They want a Satipatthana. I think the sensual desire, if you name one sensual desire in your answer, that's actually a reason in that person, then it's easier to use one of the Satipatthana way to overcome it, because sensual desire is so broad. It can come from your eye, from your ear, from your nose, from your tongue, right? It all arises from the five senses.
Yeah.
And then the Kaya Nupassana has given us a very broad outline of how you can use your body to overcome things. Yeah, so it's easier if you narrow your answer to one sensual desire and then use one of the Kaya Nupassana. For example, if I write this answer, I would definitely narrow down to lust. The lust has affected my mind. And then the antidote recommended by Satipatthana is Asubha, straight away. So that way you can tackle the question. Yeah. So let's say if it's the sensual desire of food arises in my mind, then I can then tackle it straight away with one of the what do you call it? Satipatthana on food. Got any food or not? No food. No food. There's no food there. Even generally, you have food. So I think to answer the exam question, one of the sensual desire that arises, you just name that. I think I'll use lust, and I'll tackle it with Asubha. Then we describe Asubha, reflecting on the looseness of the body, decomposing with all that thing, right? And then the mind will get disconnected, disengaging from that lustful thoughts, and replaced with this unpleasant thoughts that will break away from your sensual grip. What do you think, Ming-Se? Ming-Se, what do you think?
Okay, let's say we don't want to talk about lust we talk about very general thing. A lot of us are attracted to food music okay, not?
Yeah, okay.
So then we go back to the body, Kaya Nupasati. Then reflecting that it is not permanent, it is a craving It is not reliable. Food will make you overeat and that I think that is uncomfortable. Okay, food I can clearly see that Now let's go to another one. Let's say somebody just like music then is can I see the bad side of it, the ugly side of it, or the harmful side of it? I don't see very much,
The time is taken away, that's all. Your useful time is used on unproductive areas. That's only I can see. But nothing dangerous about the music.
Cannot say I'm productive at all. Music can be very inspiring. Right,
if the music content has some okay, so if you're listening to the music and the content inspires you, then I say you're not wasting your time. Time is best used. So again, the music has to be defined. I know what kind of music. So if you are describing music is it inspires and energizes you, I think it's a wholesome thing. You can continue.
Yeah.
The discussions are unwholesome to the wholesome. We are moving the mind from unwholesome to the wholesome. But if it's already in a wholesome side, we got to cultivate more, right, isn't it? We got to cultivate and make it grow.
At the same time, put music just out of curiosity music actually clouds the mind.
How?
Clouds the mind.
How does it cloud the mind?
Because the lyrics there carries you into their world.
And so the content also, if let's say you're listening to Life Never Dies, for example, the musical Life Never Dies, and you are reflecting on that content, right? It give you Dhamma. It's actually Dhamma Nupassana, isn't it? You're
Okay,
reflecting on it, yeah. But it
So
doesn't,
it's not-
like,
it doesn't harm you lah.
yeah.
But
It doesn't bring to a
but
world.
in the end, you will hang on to it. You might end up hanging on to it. And liking this music, whatever, like first 30 years, we will still remember life never dies.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay, anyway, that's only
yeah.
part of a discussion.
Yeah, so I think it's not that we have to disconnect from what we are doing, right? Because we are still a lay person, we are still in the world. But at least we must know what is wholesome and unwholesome. I think that's it. Wholesome development, unwholesome development. But for example, watching TV, is it unwholesome? Firstly, definitely it takes away your time,
okay, it takes away the time, correct.
And then secondly, if you're watching a violent movie, then it has an impact to you. It impact to you, like you also get agitated in the movie. This lady, so cruel, isn't it? You absorb in the show, like you are part of the show, and you want to be the director. But sometimes when I watch shows, sometimes also I become I want to be in the show and trying to manipulate the show, change the show. Why can't a director change the show like that? Why he has to go and kill this man? He's a good man, right? You see that is how we also get drawn into the watching of the movie. Firstly, the time is not used well. Secondly, is our mind is absorbed in it, and we develop. And you must remember, but because the mind has seen these images, it also floats out in your meditation. When you sit and meditate, he periodically picks up some of this that storage box, whatever it could be yesterday or present and all that. You pick it up and you just run. Levelly with few people. Plan. Who is Plan? Plan. Did I get it right? Plan. Who is Plan?
Brother Casey, yes.
Your full name is Plan.
Plan.
Oh, Pigland. Okay, from Johor Bahru. Okay, so what about your response to restlessness? Yes.
Okay, restlessness is caused by the mind is fully disturbed.
Yes.
It's unable to do anything,
cannot settle down, Cannot settle down, yeah.
So maybe go for a walk.
Remedy?
Can I go for a walk first? Then I come back?
Don't do it now. Don't do it now, yeah. Walking, what do you think, Ken? I thought walking will be restless. Can you? The slow and topper will be walking.
Can I do exercise, something like that?
You want to calm the mind. So based on the 4 foundation of mindfulness, which of the method is calming the mind? You can use it to calm the mind. Which method would you recommend to calm the mind?
Which method?
Use the Kaya Nupassana.
Yeah.
Which one? There are number there. A number of choices there. Which of the Kaya Nupassana would you recommend? We take the walking one out. So which one would you recommend?
Which one would I recommend?
Which will calm down the mind. Will still it down if you do that.
Listening to the music.
Influence by Ming Si. See your answer influence already,
Hey, good, no, not bad now. Can calm the mind.
Brother Casey Wailing here.
Yeah.
Is it Anapanasati? Can I try Anapanasati for
Yeah. Anapanasati lah. Use recommend Anapanasati. Then in your answer you describe how Anapanasati is used to calm the mind. The in breath, out breath, focusing on the in breath, out breath. And then you still remember some of the things we discussed in Anapanasati, paying attention to a long breath, then paying attention to a short breath. By doing so, the mind slowly settles down. In response.
Actually, by chanting, you also can calm yourself.
Yes. But Anapanasati, the Satipatthana don't have all. I'm trying to use Satipatthana. I mean, if it's like there is no reference to the Satipatthana, then I think the answers that we've discussed in the slide, right? And also your personal practice also can be used. Like chanting is a good way. Like chanting, is also a way to calm the mind. The question is to anchor, you want to anchor your mind on something. So chanting is definitely one good way. Walking also, you can calm the mind actually. Walking also can. You just focus on your left, right over a period of time. It also calms down. But the key thing is don't let your senses stray. The more your senses stray, the more restless it becomes. It's holding on to this and that. Restlessness arises because the mind is not still, not able to settle. So to settle it, you don't let the mind do too many things. Do one thing. Do one thing. The best way to do one thing is chanting. The Thai style is buto, one word. Even though you do Namo Tassa Bhagavato, focus on the word, it will definitely helps. Or walking, left, right. It also comes down. Definitely in breath, out breath, definitely will come down. Yeah.
Then if I want to answer this restlessness by using chanting, which is very practical to many of us.
Yes.
Then I will have to go back to Anapanasati and use Kaya Nupasati. Kaya?
Nupasana, okay. You use Kaya.
Use Kaya then. If it is walking, also Kaya.
Yes. And then chanting also you can put Kaya, but you can choose the one activity one. Because activity is very broad, isn't it? You anchor on an activity, so you can anchor on a chanting activity. Yeah, you go to the Buddha, in front of the Buddha, you do a proper salutation, and you want to do a chant to tame the restless mind, also can. But you have to do reference. The question is very very fixed, like it wants you to use Satipatthana, the 4 foundation. So you got to use one of the 4 foundation approach to overcome the hindrances. Okay, so we are about there, already 4:30. So thank you very much. Next week, there is no class because I'm going to Susima Bentong for the opening. Susima Bentong, there is our official opening there. I'm spending my time there with Bante Kovido and going to the hills, going to the Susima Hills to look at the Klang and the Kuti. It's a forest tradition setting. So we are going there for the whole day. So I meet you again the following week, which will be the 17th. That will be our last class. So we already finished the heavy area, the jhana and all that. So I'm pretty happy because those things have been settled. The next discussion we're going to have is we're going to cover 2 smaller sections called Tilakkhana and dependent origination. I look at the past question they've been asking is very much like our senior class. I just want to spend a bit of time just to add a little bit more element there. So that when you answer the question, you answer slightly above your senior level. Okay?
Brother Kok Cheng, you are doing which part, which section? A, B, C, D?
Number B. B is the Dharma, isn't it? The doctrine.
The B,
doctrine.
Under B, there are lots of things, or in fact, it's the heaviest.
What doctrine is that?
Okay, according to the syllabus that we have in our Google Drive, we have the planes of existence, we have Anatta, Nibbana, way to Nibbana, Arahan, Bodhisattva ideal, 8 worldly conditions, problem of life, Ratana Sutta.
Yeah. That is a syllabus, but we have divided the section into different people. So Ananda covers some part of it, and then Brother Yap covers some part of it. So I'm already covering the doctrinal, the one that is doctrinal.
That means the Dharma and the Suttas? No.
Yeah, yeah.
No. The Dharma and the Suttas will be, what is Buddhism? Is it a philosophy? This one covered by Brother Yap.
Yeah. The softer thing.
Yap.
Yes.
Okay, so you are doing the Anatta doctrine, no more.
Yeah. That is a Tilakkhana.
So
Look at the past question. Yeah.
So it's a little this time, huh?
Yeah. Looking at the 2022 last year's paper, the question has been very watered down.
Paper for higher is the same as senior.
Yeah, so it's watered down. It's so watered down that there's nothing there, no meat at all. No meat. So the thing that we have discussed in terms of Satipatthana, the 7 Bojjhangas and all that is actually the old syllabus. Heavily asked in the old syllabus. The newer syllabus don't ask those things, but we are not sure because they are shifting from the old, which is very common, this kind of question, into something so simple, like a senior level already. So just to make sure that our students are prepared, we also cover some of the, Bojjhangas and all that. So at least you got ideas what are in that older syllabus, the Arya path.
So the questions are this year, 2023,
Yeah.
Be the same as senior level. We do extra 1 question.
You answer 4 questions, and then the last question you can choose from any of the 4 sections.
So it's going to be like the senior question again.
Yeah. Choose 1 from the 4 section, and the 5th question you choose any 1 from the 4.
4 plus.
So you're strong in doctrine, you do 2 questions on doctrine. If you're strong in early, the history of Buddhism, you do 2 from there. And if you're a contemporary type, you choose the contemporary one, means no specific, but very general areas, like 5 precepts, why 5 precepts is important in our life and all that. Very general. Okay, so thank you very much. We meet again.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.